I said, "Bust" in the background. That had to be a more. Bust. Bust. Yeah.
This nigga had anger issues for real,
Was
bro.
off it, man.
Had real life anger issues. He said,
I did
"Stop
too at that
pushing
time.
me."
That's why I broke both my hands.
I know. See, that's bad. He was like the embodiment of all of our anger issues. No shit, just look at this nigga, bro. Ready to just hit niggas for no reason.
I don't even know why we was doing this. Like, what started?
Just cuz. It's like, nigga, move. Like, nah, nigga, you pussy. Like, what? Like, how you gonna tell you back up? Like, what are you gonna do to him? Has he called you?
Huh?
Has he called you?
Cool. I don't think he got my number.
Bruce, quiet.
You call this nigga Marlon like what? I'm supposed to move him before you leave. He's up here right now.
Of course, the little shit is up here. How you gonna tell me though? It's not like he's gonna tell me though.
He asked if I could pick him up from the bus station over there. I was like, I got work, bro. I had to go to work that night.
You better stay seated, dog. Got time for your shenanigans.
I don't know why you coming down so late.
Your shenanigans. Sit down somewhere. I'll be cutting everybody off, bro. Like, I'm on like step 2 of cutting everybody off. But like, yeah, step 2 is surrounding yourself with different people. Cause now, like last week, I had no hours. Like they cut my hours crazy at work, bro. Like she made the schedule and it said I had 30 some hours, like 32 hours, and then she revised it and I had 24, and then she revised it again, I had 16. So, and this was all in like a day. So I go to her, I'm like, yo, like what's good with you? Look how God worked, right?
Yo. Hey, yo.
Bruce! Get out of here! So look how God worked, right? I got reduced from like 32 hours to 16, about half that. So I went to work.
You got reduced to 32 hours?
No, I got reduced from 32 to 16. So when I went to work yesterday, well, long story short, they posted on the group chat that they needed somebody to come in 4 to 8. So I ended up coming in 4 to 8 and then working my overnight. So I ended up being there for like 12 hours straight. And then while I'm working, come to find out that the other overnight person got caught stealing toilet tissue at the job.
Toilet tissue.
Shorty got caught, but not like the regular roll, like.
I mean, at least
Like
it
the
seemed like
roll.
she needed that. Like if you're stealing that, you probably need that.
Yeah, but then when my manager called her, she's like, "Why did you steal the toilet paper?" She texted her back and was like, "To use it." Like,
like why else would I steal it?
like that big, yo. And the thing is,
I just want to play around. I need a toilet paper. Like,
yeah. So let me tell you what happened. So
mad funny, bro.
the owner of the store was like,
Yo, get out of here.
the owner of the store was like, I don't want her working overnight anymore. So now I got all of her shifts, which was originally my shifts to begin with. And I'm gonna probably have shifts for next week too. So now I'm about to be in overtime. I wasn't even planning on being in overtime for this week. I thought I was gonna have less hours. But now I do. But that's just funny to me, cause like it's like you know the rolls that they put in the paper towel dispensers.
Yeah.
She took one of those, and she don't got a car, bro. So she put it in her book bag or under her shirt or something.
Well, she needed it.
She definitely needed it.
Can't really be mad at that. Right?
But everybody kept saying that she was lit at work and all this X, Y, Z.
Hey! Stop it.
You gonna go in a cage? Come on now.
Trying to be slick with it. Back up.
Trying to slide up. Bruce, you got one more time and you done. No kizzy. Right back in the cage. Exactly why I put you in the cage in the first place.
So you gonna keep your job at Dunkin' or you gonna go to Chick-fil-A?
I don't even know if I'm gonna get the job at Chick-fil-A. He was interviewing more than one person that day. So I've been doing obviously did I show you my sermon that I wrote?
No.
I didn't show you the sermon that I wrote. Where's my notebook? So I wrote this sermon. Oh, that's right. I wrote this sermon. Oh, I think I told you about it. It was about how everything is meaningless. Everything is meaningless. I had to convince my mom. She ain't believe me. But then as soon as I explained it, she started seeing it. Like, no, I think I didn't tell you. I didn't go over the sermon with you. How I was pretty. Oh nah, that was Brandon.
No, I definitely didn't. I would have remembered if you did.
Yeah. So everything is meaningless. Ecclesiastes. Why everything is meaningless.
What do you mean by everything?
Everything.
Like everything in the world?
Like everything that people do, like it doesn't have meaning in the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
So like what you do isn't gonna affect somebody across the world 100 years from now. It might, but you would never know. It's not like that's something that you can recognize. Like that change is not something that you can recognize. So in turn, it's meaningless. Like the things that you do are arbitrary, but that doesn't mean that God doesn't have a part to play in how it affects the rest of the world. You know, like in your immediate circle, it might not have meaning. Like you might not be doing anything. Like it's very stagnant. Like I'm using a phone for my camera, but I pretty much break it down to you with the scriptures. But pretty much it was just saying like there's futility in happiness, there's futility in wisdom. So you can learn, you can try to pursue happiness, but at the end of the day, you're gonna die, just like all the murderers died, just like everybody who had mental handicaps, everybody who didn't know God, who does know God. Everybody is got one destination. So
well, two different destinations.
Well, yeah, but I mean like physical death is imminent, you know,
Yeah,
regardless. Yeah. So it's like what happens in this life is meaningless. It's more about the work going on in your head. So yeah, I put in here, all the hard work is given to others, sometimes less deserving people, from beggars to kings. There are so many ways to live life without death, so live a good life and use common sense. A lot of people don't use common sense, but they're really smart.
So you saying?
I gotta get the chapters, bro, because like I got it down. Like I got it. So like, but like yeah, like there's just certain things that you do that just Well, no, everything that you do doesn't have meaning. Like, even for example, like LeBron James. He's to somebody he's nothing. You feel me?
Yeah, like to me.
You feel me? Like
Yeah.
you see, like don't like you know who he is, but he doesn't have meaning in your life. You feel me? So like, what he does doesn't have meaning. Over the bigger scope of things, you individually aren't going to be able to change the world. That's the point of God. You're only a cog in the machine. That's like you're doing your job regardless of if you sin or not.
I think whatever you're doing gains meaning if it's through God.
Yeah.
But I also feel like if you're sinning,
God's gonna let you know.
like I wouldn't say it means something. Like I'm not sure exactly how you're using the definition of the word meaning, but sin affects not only yourself but other people, which is why the world is in a fallen state because of Adam and Eve's first sin. That trickled down through all these generations.
Yeah. So this is what it's not like it's almost like predestination. I was explaining this to my mom. Like,
I believe in predestination.
So God is at the end of the race for us anyway. He's the beginning and the end. So we're moving through a timeline in a linear direction going this way, right?
That's one of the topics we need to talk about because some people think that predestination and free will can't coexist.
That's what I'm saying. Like you can make a choice, but regardless, the choice has already been made. Like you see what I'm saying? Like regardless if you say yes or no, both decisions have already been made.
I feel like because we were actually talking about this in at church.
That's crazy.
Literally, we were talking about it. But we were talking about, and I said I think it's a combination of both. Like God's predestination is based off of His foreknowledge of people who would always come to believe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like He already knew He would come. The people who would be open-minded.
Yeah, regardless of what they go through.
So He pushes those people to believe in Him. He gives those people more and more push to believe in Him, more and more evidence to believe in Him. And the people, those are the chosen. The people who come to God are the chosen. But
Bruce.
I feel like He chose them based off of His sovereignty and His foreknowledge. Meaning that God wanted the people for Himself. You know, so he made that happen, but also chose His people based off of what He already knew what would happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's a combination of free will and God's foreknowledge. So predestination and free will can't both exist. People just don't see it that way.
Thank you. This is like the other side of like, that's what I mean, like how it's meaningless. Because in God's eyes, He already knows what you're gonna do. He already knows how you're gonna react. He already knows, okay. And it's like based upon the character you're building for yourself.
But
like,
it does. In a way, it does, because like that's why we're supposed to still preach the gospel, because even though there's predestination and stuff, God is also a just God. For me, He wouldn't be just if He didn't give everyone the chance, even people who would never come to believe, a chance to know Him. You know what I mean? So that's why, like, you need to be preaching the word. You need to be spreading the gospel. You need to be not sinning. You know? But I get what you're saying about, like, how really it doesn't really matter because it's planned out and all that. But
there is some meaning to it, but the way most people like this sermon is made for people who.
That's what I mean. I don't know if like
the sermon is made for people who don't live like we live already. You see what I'm saying? Most people don't see the way that connection works. Like
in the secular world, nothing has meaning.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's all arbitrary. Like TV, like from entertainment to television to lifestyle to all of it.
Nothing.
Like you can live all of that and not have any meaning in your life because it's all substance.
We should be talking about this on the podcast. But
it's recording.
It's recording? That's crazy.
Right?
Yeah, but I didn't even know.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best part.
But yeah, what was I about to say? Yeah, in a world where everything is pretty much a chemical reaction, there is no meaning to that.
It's just a reaction.
Exactly. But that doesn't take into account. That doesn't take reason into account. That doesn't take logic into account. That doesn't take intelligence itself into account. That doesn't take emotion into account.
But so you're saying that the only person it has meaning to is the individual that it goes that it happens to.
What do you mean about that? The individual that it happens to?
Yes, even though certain situations happen to everybody and every person goes through certain things, it only has meaning. That specific situation only has a certain meaning to a specific person.
Well, yeah, people perceive different things, like things differently.
Well,
But-
literally, they would have to, because it's not like anybody would see. Even if they were to go through the same situation as you, they wouldn't have the same perspective as you.
Yeah.
That's
But-
like watching a basketball game from courtside and then watching a basketball game from the sky. Like y'all was both in the same. You feel me? Y'all was both in the same stadium, but the perspective was different. So when I tell the story of, oh, I saw him do this, and you're like, oh, I saw him do that, it's like, it's a little bit different,
Yeah.
but it's the same thing.
Yeah, but I guess that goes to the point where you're saying the people who think like us and people who don't. Because again, in a secular world where people strictly believe in science and they believe everything is just a form of a chemical reaction and stuff like that, like I said, that doesn't explain things like emotion. That doesn't explain how we're able to sit here and have a back and forth conversation like this, comprehending what we're each saying. You know, that like evolution can't account for that.
I mean, we all communicate. Like, even animals communicate. I feel like just because we can't understand them doesn't mean that they don't.